Hey everyone, I always say that in the short term market is driven by sentiments and in the long term it is driven by fundamentals. Now today if you look at the sentiments, the biggest growth we have seen in the last 1 year is in power, infra stocks, defense, PSUs and railway stocks. Certainly the growth potential in this sector is immense, but the catch is that when the stock within a particular sector are growing at a fast rate, people end up buying it at any valuation. We have seen during COVID period how IT, pharma and chemical stocks have jumped significantly and eventually corrected badly. That's where it's very important to understand the growth potential but also keep a close eye on the valuation. You can't buy a growth stock at any valuation because in that case, in the short term, it might outperform, but if you don't exit at right time, it can crash badly. Today, majority of good power, infra, defense related stocks are already trading at high valuation and the future growth is already discounted into the current valuation. Having said this, there are still potential in this segment and I'm planning to do a detailed video on the entire government capex theme and cover top stock in each of the themes. But for now, I want to discuss a sector that is looking most promising and undervalued in my opinion. The growth in this sector is very high, but the valuation these companies command are quite low. And the sector is small finance. If you recall, I already did a detailed video on the small finance sector of India and top stocks in this space. But for the sake of new audience, I want to quickly share my thought on why small finance sector is looking very promising. What are the mega trends in this space and the top companies in this space? I would also compare them on various parameters to help you get a clear picture of which one you can consider investing your money. But before we begin, just a disclaimer that this video is only for educational purpose. Kindly do your own research before investing your money so that you can invest with conviction. Alright, let's get started. Now before we jump to the growth driver, let's quickly understand what is a small finance bank and how is it different from large banks. So the difference between commercial bank like HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, Axis and your small finance bank like Ujjivan, Equitas is the customers they serve. Commercial banks do not have restriction on the customers they serve. So their target audience include both retail and corporate houses. However, small finance bank cater to small borrowers, unorganized workers and medium and small enterprises. As per RBI, small finance bank must lend at least 75% fund to priority sector that include MSME, unorganized sector and so on. For commercial bank, this number is 40%. Hope it makes sense. While commercial banks have a major presence in cities, small finance banks have major presence in rural part of the country. As a rule, small finance banks have to open 25% of their branches in rural areas in the initial 3 years. Basically, the challenge is that people from lower strata of society don't have credit history or regular source of income. And hence, majority of their loan applications are rejected by commercial banks. And that's where small finance banks comes into picture to give credit facility to people from lower strata of society. This created both opportunity and challenges for small finance bank. Opportunity in terms of untapped potential where 65% of India's population still live in rural part of the country. But the challenge is to maintain the credit growth not at the cost of asset quality. Because when you give loan to low income people or someone who does not have a proper credit history or does not have a regular source of income, the risk of default increases. That's what happened during 2016 till 2021 period. It all started with demonetization, then ILFS crisis, Yes Bank crisis that resulted in sharp spike in NPAs in financial sector. And when things were improving, COVID badly hit the economy that resulted in sharp fall in asset quality, especially for small finance banks. However, today the banking sector of India is in one of the best phase of growth with top-notch asset quality and sharp rise in deposits and lending. Over the years, small finance banks have gained expertise in underwriting small loans to self-employed people who do not have enough credit history for assessing their credit worthiness, especially the top listed small finance bank of India. Moreover, today small finance banks are extensively using technology to expand their reach, optimize their operations and make banking more efficient and seamless. So in short, over the last few years, small finance banks have created a niche in their category and are now expanding their model to all over the country. Since we are in early stage of a new credit cycle with best ever asset quality, there's a long way to go for small finance banks. Today, there are already 7 listed small finance banks in India. EU Small Finance, Equitas, Ujjivan, Utkarsh, Suryoda Small Finance and the newly listed ESAF Small Finance and Jana Small Finance. So let's first have a quick look at each company and then try to compare them across your latest business and financial parameter. By the way, I also hold one of the small finance bank in my own portfolio and I have increased my allocation. And I've already shared the details in my weekly video series where I share one exclusive video every week, including stocks I'm buying. Also now we are in Q4 result season. I would closely track more than 200 companies and share the detail over Excel sheet that you can access from my website. Details are in the pinned comment. Now first small finance bank is AU Small Finance Bank. It is the largest player in the Indian small finance segment with a deposit book of 80,120 crore, advances that is loan book of 67,624 crore. Earlier, AU had major presence in northern and western part of the country, but recently Fincare Small Finance got merged into AU that has given entry into southern market of India. AU has 1049 touch point with 554 deposit branches, where Fincare has 1300 touch point, mainly micro banking unit. Total there are now 2352 touch points. Second is Equitas Small Finance. Company has a deposit base of 32,385 crore and advances of 32,776 crore. It has got a strong hold in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and South Indian region as well as central and western part of the country. Third is Ujjivan Small Finance. It has a deposit base of around 30,000 crore and advances of 27,700 crore. Its branch network is nicely spread across country with 729 banking outlets having highest branches in Tamil Nadu followed with Karnataka then West Bengal. Fourth is Utkarsh Small Finance. Company's deposit base is around 15,000 crore and advances is 16,400 crore. Company has a strong hold in UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal and Maharashtra region with total of 880 banking outlets. Then fifth is Suryoday Small Finance. It's a relatively smaller small finance bank with deposit of around 6,400 crore and advances of 7,600 crore. It has strong presence in southern part including Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Odisha and then Maharashtra with a total of 672 branches. Sixth is ESAF Small Finance. It is a recently listed company with deposit of around 18,800 crore. The advances of around 18,150 crore. Company started operation from Kerala where it has the highest branches and loan book. In March 21, 56% loan book was from Kerala that is now reduced to 39.3%. After Kerala, company has strong presence in Tamil Nadu, then Maharashtra and then MP. Still South India contributed 86% of deposit and 70% of gross advance. And seventh is Jana Small Finance Bank. Again recently listed company with deposit of around 20,780 crore, advances of around 23,600 crore with presence in Maharashtra, MP, Odisha and Tamil Nadu. So I hope you got a fair idea of business side of each small finance bank. AU is the biggest small finance bank in terms of size, followed with Equitas, then Ujjivan, then Jana, followed with ESAF, Utkarsh and then Suryoday Small Finance. Also each of these has presence in almost every part of the country, but they have dominance in certain geography. For example, AU is more dominant in western and northern part. Although after merger with Fincare, its South India presence has increased significantly. Then Equitas is more dominant in south and western part. Ujjivan, Suryoday and ESAF are more dominant in south and Maharashtra zone and Utkarsh is more dominant in UP, Bihar and Jharkhand region. Now the key question is how to really identify which is the best company to invest money. So first factor is obviously the growth in loan book, deposit and ultimately the earnings. Second factor is valuation. But here the most important factor in my opinion is the loan book construct. So loan book can be divided into two parts, secured loan book and unsecured loan book. Market would always give a premium to a company with more secured loan book. So you might look at AU Small Finance with a price to book of 3.7 and compare it with say Suryoday Small Finance with a low price to book of 1.4. But just looking at price to book or price to earning can't justify the valuation, because AU has a more secured loan book as compared to Suryoday. The reason is because during good time, even unsecured loan book would look good, but it is during the difficult time when secured loan book ensures lower NPA. If the bank has higher exposure in an unsecured loan book, it is exposed to the risk of high NPA during difficult times. Although currently we are in good times, so it might help companies even with unsecured loan book. And NPA is one of the most important parameter while gauging the valuation of a company. Apart from this, another key metric is ROE, that is return on equity. So if you look at the loan book breakup, AU loan book is 40% in vehicle, 30% in micro business, that is again a secured loan against credit, 7% is home loan. So more than 90% of AU loan book is secured. Equitas has 82% loan book is secured. That includes vehicle finance, small finance, home finance, and only 18% is unsecured with microfinance. Then Ujjivan has 30% of loan book as secured and 70% unsecured. Although their target is to increase secured loan book to 40% in next 3 years. Next, Utkarsh has a secured loan book of 35% and unsecured loan book of 75%. Suryodaya has again 35% secured loan book and rest is unsecured, and has also significantly reduced its unsecured loan book in last few years and intend to further reduce it and increase the secured loan book contribution. Then ESAF has 58% secured loan book, 42% unsecured, and then your Jana has around 60% secured loan book and 40% unsecured. Please note that secured loan book include your home loan, vehicle loan, business loan with credit guarantee and so on. And unsecured loan include microfinance loan to very small business vendors. Now let us look at the overall comparison of all these 7 companies across parameters like growth, NPA, valuation and so on. So this slide gives a good summary of performance of these 7 small finance banks across various financial parameters. In terms of deposit, AU has the highest deposit base, followed with Equitas, then you have Ujjivan, then Jana, and Suryodaya has got the lowest deposit base. In terms of deposit growth in last 3 years, all 7 small finance bank deposits have grown at an exceptional rate, highest being AU, and then of course you have got Ujjivan with 35%, but net all of them have grown at a very good rate. Advances, if you look at it, again AU has the highest base because it's the largest small finance bank in India. Equitas is second number, then you've got Ujjivan, then Jana. Again, Suryodaya has the lowest advances base. In terms of growth, all of them are growing at a very good rate. Your Jana and ESAF growth has been slightly on the higher side, but net all of them have grown at a very good rate. Now next important parameter is the secured loan. In that, AU has got more than 90% loan as secured. Second, Equitas has 82% loan book as secured, and remaining, if you look at it, your Ujjivan, Utkarsh, Suryodaya, where they have got 30-35% of loan book as secured and remaining is unsecured loan book. ESAF has got 58% secured loan book and Jana has got 60% secured loan book. Now what happens is when you have secured loan book, your consistency in growth is also stable, and you can see here, so consistency here I've considered the PAT consistency as well as the NPA consistency, and so here AU and Equitas have got more stable growth because their loan book is highly secured, and remaining small finance bank growth is volatile in terms of PAT as well as NPA because their loan book is less secured. Then if you look at cost of borrowing, AU has the lowest cost of borrowing. Now this is again very important because if the cost of borrowing is high, it directly impacts the PAT, and lower cost of borrowing result in higher PAT. So if you look at AU, it's got 6.8, then Equitas is 7.36, then more or less all of them are same at in the range of 7.3 to 7.8%. PAT growth, if you look at it, PAT of AU is again in absolute terms is highest, then Ujjivan is second number, then you've got Equitas and then the rest. But if you look at the growth in last 3 years, again excellent growth for all of them. AU is 28%, Equitas 33%, Ujjivan is 46%, Utkarsh 29%. Suryodaya has grown at an exceptional rate of 50%, but the thing is it's been volatile in the past, especially during COVID period, and likewise for ESAF and Jana that have grown at an exceptional rate, but they've been quite volatile. Then if you look at the ROE, it's 14.4% for AU and likewise for Equitas. Ujjivan has got a very high ROE and ESAF has also got very high, and it's mainly because they've got a very high loan book for MSME segment where they give loan at a very high interest rate, and because of that their ROE is also on the higher side. Next, if you look at the gross NPA, AU has the best asset quality with gross NPA of 1.98, then Equitas is 2.38, Ujjivan is 2.1, Utkarsh slightly on higher side at 3%, Suryodaya at 2.9, ESAF is again on higher side at 4.2 and Jana is 2.1. If you look at the market cap, again AU has got the highest market cap, followed with Equitas at 11,000, Ujjivan at 10,400, then you've got Utkarsh market cap 6,000 crore, Jana 4,700, ESAF at 3,000 and Suryodaya has got the lowest market cap at 2,220 crore. Now if you look at finally the valuation part, which is price to earning and price to book, your AU would obviously command a premium at price to earning of 28.8 and price to book of 3.7, mainly because it's got a very secured loan book and it's got very consistent growth. NPAs are also very low, and that's the reason its price to earning and price to book is on higher side. Apart from this, if you look at it, all of them have a very attractive price to earning and price to book. Equitas at 14.1 PE, price to book of 2.9. Ujjivan is 8.25 PE, price to book of 2.59. Utkarsh is 12.8, price to book of 2.1. Suryoday has got the most attractive valuation in the lot at price to earning of just 11.4 and price to book of 1.4. ESAF is also very attractive at 6.3 and price to book of 1.7. Jana has got slightly high price to book of 3 and price to earning of 18.3. So in this video, we discuss the potential in the small finance bank and key player in the space. I think small finance banks are available at attractive valuation today. Although in the short term, there is one key risk, which is higher cost of borrowing. Since we are in high interest period, the cost of borrowing for these small finance banks have increased. However, eventually when the interest rate would fall in India, the cost of borrowing should reduce. That would further increase the profit. Since banks have the best asset quality at the moment, the growth potential is very promising. And the best part is that all these finance companies are currently available at very attractive valuation. Having said this, it's important to keep a close eye on the asset quality and ensure that banks do not compromise on asset quality just for growth. Now tell me in the comment, do you hold any small finance bank in your portfolio? And if you find this video useful, do share it with your friends. I'll see you next video. Till then, take care.